some 50 years ago, ISR was essentially invented and developed in South Texas. It was invented and developed largely by oil companies, and that made sense. In situ was through wells, whereas conventional mining was not. Oil companies were familiar with wells. Conventional mining companies were not. So almost all of the large oil companies decided to develop in-situ recovery operations in South Texas. The oil companies initially knew where some of these deposits were because through oil and gas operations, they also learned where the uranium deposits were. So in the beginning of the 70s, almost every large oil company had either planned operations or ongoing operations, in-situ operations in South Texas, and they developed the technology. The oil company's success was mixed, to say the best. Some of the operations worked okay, and some of them didn't work very well at all. As the 70s went on, weakness in the energy industries caused the oil companies to retreat and go to their core business, which was oil. They left behind properties, they left behind people. And those people went and started new, smaller, junior uranium, ISR uranium mining companies. Come to mind, Uranium Resources, where I came from. Dennis came from Everest Resources. These were companies that took the technology and some of the properties that the oil companies left behind and developed several very successful uranium operations. So the point there is this, that the oil companies started the industry. A whole generation of engineers and geologists learned from the oil companies, their mistakes, good and bad. And that resulted in the development of a refined in-situ uranium recovery industry that we have today. Where Encore is unique is when you look at our people, Dennis, myself, Paul, and others. We're the product of that generation that learned from the oil companies and went on and developed successful resources. Now we're back in South Texas again. We're not starting from the very beginning like the oil companies did in 1973. We're picking up from where we left off. We have past knowledge, and it's going to allow us to operate successful new mines without a lot of the mistakes that were made in the past.